Good afternoon, everybody. It's 1 o'clock, and I am with you now for the next hour, right up and through, well, until 2 o'clock. I'm going to be here sharing with you and showcasing some brand new embossing folders that we're going to be using with our Kit and Caboodle Pro Cut. I'm really excited for this. Embossing folders are a wonderful piece of equipment to add to your die cutting stash and, of course, your papercraft storage. Honestly, they're fabulous. You can do loads of techniques, whether it's going to be with mirror card, watercolor cards, spritzing inside them, embossing with them. We're going to do lots of different techniques, and of course you can also use them with your clays, which I did a bit of the other week. I've got all these different bundles for you to take you through. We've also got our texture plates on the show, which we now have back in stock for you. These were incredibly popular, and we've got new designs too. I've got mica powders, I've got cadence paints, we've got the envelopes, we have got the chameleon powders back in for you as well. So this is the show for you to get involved with your embossing folders with some amazing techniques. Shout out to those of you who are already joining, Karen and Ria. Please stay with us. We're going to have a wonderful show together. I'm looking forward to this hour. So we may as well get started, shall we? So, streaming live on Highlight Crafts Live Shopping. We're streaming on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you can watch us, okay? And that's also where you can shop with us. Now, in the comments section, underneath the video as it's live streaming, you can type all your shop codes inside there. So for every single item I'm going to go through on the counter for you today, every single one will have its own code. And all you need to do is type that code into the comments. So this bundle that we've got here at the top, this is Shop Happy. Now where you'd say hello or good afternoon, good morning, that sort of thing, you would type Shop Happy in that comment section to then get that into your basket. So you type it into the comments, it adds it to your basket and it sends you a direct message. Now, your direct message you will receive on your inbox. So on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you message your family and friends, that's where you'll get it. It'll say from Highlight Crafts. In there will be a link. All you need to do is click on that link that we've sent you and it'll redirect you over to the Highlight Crafts website. And you see your basket there totted up with all the items in it that you've shopped ahead for during the show. Now at that point you can then log it into your account and check out your order. Just make sure to log into your Highlight Crafts account first before you do so. It gets you additional discounts along the way, which we all love a bit of that, don't we? We like a bit of money off. So you're going to get discounts with every purchase being a club member. Also as well, you're going to get points that build up throughout every single purchase, which then turns into pounds, which you can then use off future purchases. You're also going to get free postage as well when you spend over £35 after your discounts have been deducted, which is amazing, right? So as soon as you go to checkout and you press checkout with your, of course, club membership, if it comes below 35, just pop something else in there just to tip it over. It could be a download, it could be anything, but it's going to give you that free postage. If a download's £1, it's better than paying, what, the $3.95 or whatever postage it is. I've forgotten what it is. My goodness. It's because it's usually free. So we're streaming live on the website. You can go straight to, of course, the schedule and you can shop today's deals, which means you can snap up all of this on the show along with everything else that we've got on for you, this evening included. Now, this evening as well, it's Wednesday today, which means we are live from 8 p.m. I know. So there's going to be lots to look forward to this evening. Super exciting. You've got that to look forward to, but you can shop ahead for it. I believe Mel and Stephanie are doing some acrylic pouring this evening, which is very exciting. I will most definitely be watching that back, given what happened last time. All good laughter. It's a fun craft to get involved in now. But that's how you shop with us and how you can watch us. We're also on YouTube as well. Don't forget that. You can watch us there on your big screen on your televisions. Okay, so as more of you join, we can get into the show because it's always good to wait a few minutes just so that everyone can find us and get with us. Maybe you've gone and grabbed your lunch or maybe you're just having a quick cup of tea or you've nipped outside or whatever it is you're doing. You come back and found us. Good afternoon, Chris, Pat and Lisa as well, and Maureen too. It is wonderful to have you accompanied. Right, I'm going to start here at the top of the show. We have got 4 embossing folders within each one of these bundles. Now, the 10.5 by 14.8 centimetres in size. Each one of these, of course, the way an embossing folder works, if you've never seen one before and you're new to it, they're an amazing piece of equipment. Now, you can create a deboss and an emboss with every single one of these, and you run them through your die cutting machine in the plate combination I'm going to share with you at demonstration. Now you can see what happens is you've got this wonderful black line. That's always going to be the front facing side. Okay, so that's the front of your design. So that's always going to be sat facing up in your machine. You think all the detail that is then going to push inside here. So that profile that you've got here will sit inside the recess and they lock together. Now as soon as you sandwich card inside there and close it and run it through your machine, it's going to emboss that card. So that texture, you know, like the wallpaper that you used to get and you can still get with the flocked texture. that is what you can create with this, but for your card making. So it does all of your card fronts. Now, this one's Shop Happy. You've got 4 happy birthday ones. Now, you've got your happy birthday sentiment here. You've got the clock face within the frame. And do you know what? A mirror card or watercolour card, or even just a white cardstock embossed paper looks amazing. You've got the singular rose stem here with your bumblebee on. And then I think, or is that a wasp? It could be a wasp. And then you've also in there got your rope crosshatch as well. It's got a big enough bottom, I think, to be a wasp there. It's slightly different shape, aren't they? Do you know the other day I was gardening, I knelt on a wasp. I actually knelt on it, and I didn't realise until I thought I'd knelt on like a little pebble or something. It was really sharp, feeling like a pinprick. And I have got kneeling pads, but I didn't at that point have them on because I didn't think I was going to be there for very long. And its sting had come out and it was stuck in the edge of my knee and it looked so weird. It was like a little red spiral. It was so strange. It was fine. I pulled it out straight away. Poor wasp wasn't too good though. So Shop Happy for this one. It's 4 happy birthday embossing folders. It's $14.99 for the set of 4. Incredible price for 4 folders there. We have then got Shop Butterfly. In here you've got 4 different designs again featuring your butterflies. This maple leaf is beautiful. It's streamlined stripes you've got on here. I'm just gonna, well, I don't need to open it because you can see the image. That black image is what you will get. So you've got these maple leaves on these wonderful corresponding streamlines. They look fabulous. You've got your oval scalloped frame here with the butterfly inside it with the swirls. You've then got a real deep chunky effect here with the flowers and the butterflies. You've got the floral frame. That one's Shop Butterfly. For 4 of those, again, it's $14.99. Individually, you can buy embossing folders this size for $9.99. So essentially, in some places, you should pay 40 quid for all that. You're paying £14.99 for all 4 of them. We've then got Shop Poker, which is your polka dots collection, starting with your poker, of course. But then you've got single stem flowers, you've got your bulrushes, and then you've got your intertwined butterflies as well. $14.99 for all 4 of those. Again, great designs on here at a great price for you today. We've then got your heart. Now, we've called it heart because it's featuring your heart design, but this is your texture. This is where you're going to be going over with your ink pads, distressing it with your mirror card. These are gorgeous, and I think they're actually my favourite set out of all of them, especially with this distressed baroque pattern that you've got here. It's Shop Heart for this one. Also £14.99 for these as well. We're not going to spend too much time here because I'm going to show you all the folders and then we're going to go over to the demo area and we'll show you them in a few minutes time so you can see how they actually work. Because for those of you at home that are joining, you might be thinking, I don't actually know how these work. I don't know how I can visualize the process, but I can't see the outcome. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I will show you. We also have your texture plates. Now these did fully allocate and sell out the other day. So we don't have a great deal of them, but we do have some more. These are what you can create texture with onto tissue, onto clay, onto different cards. They're not designed to be run through your Pro Cut machine, but you've got different designs on here. So this one here is actually, it's really tricky to pick up on camera, I'm going to say. This one's your baroque pattern. We've then on here got your swirls intertwined with one another. Inside here as well, we've got the wonderful floral design. Again, really tricky to pick up. I'll try and show you this later on in a different way. You also have your streamlined diamond baroque on there too. We do as well have inside here the high profile, super deep texture plate of all of the swirls. And then we've got the roses. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these plates. They're slightly smaller than A4. That one is Shop Rose. For your roses one, it's $19.99 for these. They look great if you ink them up and then put them straight onto your cardstock and create that impression. But I'll show you that as we go through the hour. You've got your cog as well. In here you've got your cog designs. Now this one here for you, I'm just going to open this so you can see as well what you actually get. It's $19.99, it's Shop Cog. This has got like your wood grain in it and your tire tracks and all those rustic elements. So you can see there you've got the interlocking chains on here. I hope, can you see it? Do you think we can see this? Can we see it all right? Okay. And then we've got like a snowfall texture, which is like hammered metal, which looks really cool. You've then got the cogs as well on here themselves. So you can see there's your cogs. You've then got wood grain. So you've got the wonderful wood grain texture. You've got your tread plate as well, which is like your metal tread plate flooring. And then you've got the tire tracks. These are fabulous. Now you can push these into fondant icing as well. Great for cake decorating, for lots of different texture creation. For all 6 of those texture plates though, it is Shop Cog $19.99. We now have for you, this is one that we've not shared with you previously. This is Shop Wave, okay? So with Shop Wave, in here you've got luscious designs that are super, super deep. Let's have a look at these, shall we? So, I'm going to take this out of here. And it's a plastic. It's almost like an acrylic that you've got here. So you've got this like bamboo trunking on this one, okay? And then we go into like an Art Deco style here with the fanned out shell shapes. And here as well, you've got the wonderful florals. You've got all these little florals together on side there. You've then in here got more flowers, all swirly design. You've then got your waves as well. So these are like the thrashing, breaking waves all curled up. And then again, you've got another beautiful dainty ditzy floral design. That there for you is Shop Wave, also $19.99. And the last set I'm going to share with you as well is Shop Diamond. And these are your 6 diamond plaques. $19.99 for this one, okay. In here, you've got this. Look at that, it's like a tartan checkerboard inside here. So you've got your checkerboard one there. You've got your pinstripe on here as well. You've got your broad stripe on this one, which is like corrugated metal. I love that. In here, you've got this dot and dash, almost like, let me have a look slightly closer. It's kind of like a dog tooth pattern that you've got on here, which is really, really nice. You've then got this wonderful crocodile skin texture, which looks great. You've got your Harlequin diamonds. This actually might be my favourite set, because then you've also got a wonderful Baroque design to go with it. How luscious is that? All of those for you, 6 there again. Shop Diamond, £19.99. That is all of your texture plates, okay? They are fabulous. Whether you push them into clay, icing, whether you're going to ink them up and put them into your cards, or maybe doing your handmade papers. Push all your handmade paper into the top of them, let it dry. Once all that water's evaporated, you can get the most wonderful handmade paper texture effect. Right, I'm going to share with you some mica powders and then we can go and have a quick look at this in action so you can see how it works, because I think it's one of those where you need to see it to actually be able to understand it, because it's honestly amazing. I've got your chameleon mica powders here. They're $24.99. You're going to get 8 powders in total. These are immaculate. Now, they're an interference, which means with these, as you're working with them on the surface, you see different colours. So in there I can see green, gold, pink, shades of blue. I've got pink here, but I see green in it as I rotate it round. Purple, which you also see hints of blue in there as well, and lilac and a fuchsia pink. Now, all of these different colours, I mean, look at that one. That is snazzy. All of these for you are going to come together as a bundle for $24.99 for 8 chameleon mica powders. Now, we do have a few other micas on the show. We've got here for you your shimmer ones. Another 8 design in there for you. This here for you is $12.99. Great price on this. These are your bold micas, so metallic tones. Here we've got a 32 colour pack. This is Shop Mica, 32 mica powders for $39.99. Irresistible deal on this one. A full kit for you together of 32 colours. What more could you ask for? Mix them with your glues and mix them with your paste, mix them with your adhesives, blend them onto card fronts or through, of course, your embossed papers. What do you fancy doing? Should we have a little look at this at demo and see how it works and come back? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to head on over to the demonstrazione. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for getting involved. Before I do this, I've got a sneak peek. I know, right? Got something special to share you. If you joined us at 10 o'clock, while 12, we had the rice paper show, where we had the huge rice papers. And the first question I got asked was, is Christmas coming round the corner? Well, I said we're working on it. I've got 3 designs here for Christmas. There's going to be 60, I believe. I'm going to show you a sneak peek of what's coming. Oh my word, look at this. This is what's going to be 2025 Christmas designs, downloadable and rice paper pre-printed. That though is all I can share with you so far. Our first 3 designs that have been created for this, but that Father Christmas is my favourite image of Father Christmas we have ever been able to produce and put together. I think it's exquisite. But that there is a sneak peek for you. That's all I'm afraid I can share with you. The rest of them, the 50 odd others, they're going to be here with you in probably the middle of summer, which I know sounds crazy, but that's probably when we're going to be sharing those with you. Right, okay, I've got a question from Diane Street as well. Good afternoon, Diane. Dan says, I remember my first embossing folder. I thought I was buying a cutting die and got this bit of plastic in the mail. No idea what it was. Luckily, someone showed me and opened up and did what it did. Well, yeah, you would be a little bit confused at first. I totally understand that. Maureen says, I can't wait, they are beautiful. Wendy says, I need them rice papers. Me too. I can't wait till they're all done. That's the first 3. Literally, as Sam, our designer upstairs, brought them down, I went, oh, I've got a show in 10 minutes. You don't mind if I go and give a sneak peek? And he went, yeah, go on then. So that's how you managed to see that. It was just in the nick of. Thank you so much for joining us. Karen says, me too. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon, Soph, as well. Good afternoon, Jackie, Pat. It's lovely to have your company. Should we have a look at some embossing then, shall we? I'm going to put this somewhere safe, which is actually, put it through, no, I'm going to put it just here to the side. Not going to put it through my die cutting machine. Right, so I'm going to start off with some black card, okay? Real simple techniques and effects that can be created with these. With your embossing folders, you get that wonderful print on the surface which indicates where they're going to go. So for example, let's take this one first. You're going to take your Pro Cut. Now, with your Pro Cut, you get the 2 3mm plates, don't you? And you get the 5mm. Well, the 5mm sits on the fence. It's on the wall at the moment, the 5mm plate. We don't need it for this process, but we need that second 3mm and that rubber embossing mat. Now, when you feed an embossing folder through your die cutting machine, it will close shut like this, but then when there's paper inside it, okay, so when that paper is sat inside, it's going to open it and it needs to be really forced shut. I can't even really make the impression with my hand at all. It needs to be really forced shut to be able to push those fibres into those profiled areas. So I'm going to take some black card, just here, and then we've put it directly on our 3mm plate. We're then going to lay our rubber embossing mat over the top, just like this, and then the 3mm plate goes on the top of that one. Straight into our machine. Now it will put it through its paces. You can really hear that, and the rubber mat will start to stretch a little bit. You can see how it's becoming longer than the plate. It looks like it's coming out, but it's just making it squish. And you'll see in the top there, look at that, how it's scrunched up, but then it'll release it and it'll all start to go flat again, okay? And that's added that extra pressure, that extra cushion, but softness, which is what we need. Remember as well, it'll build up a little bit of static as you're doing this process. So what I'm going to do now is take the embossing folder, open it up and look at that. Okay, you might be thinking, well, how do I define this? Well, I'm going to show you a few different things. Let's take our trimmer, and firstly, I'm going to trim this down. So I'm going to take it out of here and just trim off all of the excess. There we go. Take that side off there as well. And this one here off too. In fact, let's do another one just there. And then take that there off. Now you've got this wonderful piece of embossed card. Now there's quite a lot of things you can do at this point. You can mix your mica powders in, maybe with your Aquastone or a bit of extender, and blend them on. I'm going to show you just quickly with some wax. I'm just going to grab my palette, my painting palette, which is just here. There we go. And I'm going to pop this directly down onto here. In fact, no, I'm not. That's really bumpy. Why am I doing that? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a piece of scrap card that I've got on my mat. There we go, that's got a bit of paint on it. Don't mind using that one. So the ones I'm working with at the moment, of course, we've got the full selection on the show, but this one here, I believe, is, oh, I forgot what the code is. Bear with me. I'm going to go and grab the code. I'm working with Sharp. Let's find which one it is. Shop Heart, $14.99 is the one I'm working with for that. So now what I'm going to do is grab some wax and blend it onto the top. I'm just going to grab one of my colours. Let's have a look. So Cadence waxes, you'll find all these on the website. I'm going to use, well, we're not going to use black because that's not going to show very well, is it? There we are. We're going to use this. It's like an antique greeny gold, okay? And we're going to go in with a palette knife and load it up onto our sponge and watch what happens. Okay, so grab some wax onto your sponge, just like that. Okay, and we go straight to the card. Oh my word, look at this. These embossing folders, the profile, the definition on these is magnificent. So I'm just spreading that all the way over, evening that up like this, and then look at what you can create. That is unbelievable. The texture is so pronounced. The way as well that it makes the card look and feel just looks luxurious. You can still die cut into these shapes that you create. Just remember you'll push that emboss down a little bit. So it's always good to do your embossing first. The happy birthday one I've got here as well. So with your happy birthday, again, let's take some gold, and then we're going to use some micas and show you how you can transform these in so many different ways. Just going to take that happy birthday, just there like that. There we go. And look how beautiful this is. It is magnificent. It's one of my favourite techniques. I'm just going to trim these edges off. And embossing folders are a dream to work with, especially ones like this which fit perfectly in the kit and caboodle. Okay, they're just, it's like they're made for it. It's brilliant. There we go. Look at that. And that's just using a little bit of that Cadence wax, which is already dry, which I love. Okay, so we've got those two. So I'm just going to clear the decks a little bit. We're going to do some more, okay? I'm going to go in with some Mica card. Let's grab another embossing folder. And we're going to use some Mica for this. So let's grab some gold, shall we? Or silver, any colour at all. See what I've got in my, my stash. Let's grab a piece of this out from here. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim a piece down and we're going to cut this one. So let's just work in to make it more of an A5 in size. There we go. And any design, let's have a little look. Let's use, I go with the hearts actually. It's a wonderful image. So the black side of the print facing up like this, because you're going to emboss into that. If you do it the other way around, that's fine. You're just going to, of course, have a negative of it, so you'll get the recess. And that's only really important to be cautious of when you're using a speciality card like Mica or something that you'd want it to be on a particular side. With black card, it wouldn't matter because it's the same colour on both sides. So what I'm going to do now is go in with my embossing mat, which I've just popped underneath here. Load that up like this and go back in with my other 3mm plate. And these are all going to fit through your Pro Cut easily. So if you recently bought a Pro Cut on that crazy deal for $14.99 today, you could be going for 4 embossing folders, brand new designs, wonderful imagery. I love them to bits. I think they're fabulous. So that's going to feed through here. Again, remember that embossing mat is going to scrunch up a little bit, but don't worry, it goes back to its original form. You're not damaging it. You're doing what you need to do with it to get it what it does, basically. You're putting it through its paces, but that's fine. Look at that. Okay, so now you've got that wonderful embossed texture on here. And you can go in with anything at all. If you wanted to, you could grab a sanding block. I've probably got one with me. Here we go. And you could skim over the top of here just to scuff all of the hearts that are pronounced. There we are. So I'm just burnishing that area. And then I'm just going to trim the excess. There we go. Like that. And look at that, isn't that gorgeous? And you've got all of those wonderful hearts, all facing in different angles. But you can sand it back even further. If you were to go back quite far, like this, it's really going to take it back. And then what I've got here is a wet wipe, which I know isn't exactly exciting, but we're going to take that wet wipe and we're going to try something. I'm going to grab some black wax, because I think I spied some in here. I did, there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush, okay, I'm going to get that black wax and I'm going to brush it all over this, okay, so I'm going to go all over the top of this gold card. So I'm really loading it up in there, not being precious at all with the way that it looks. Brush goes in the water, then I'm going to grab this piece of paper to form as a little bit of a mat underneath, get that wet wipe and wrap it round that sanding block because that's nice and flat, okay. Going to keep it taut for us as well because it's sanded surface. Then if we skim over the top of here, we get this wonderful antique effect. Look at that, now we've created like an aged antique finish on the surface. You could then dry that down just on the top, just with a tissue. And you've got this wonderful antiqued gold. So we've gone from having like a super shiny brassy colour to a nice knocked back aged finish, which I love. It looks really, really nice. So, a few little quick techniques off the top of the show. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to run through some additional items that we do have and give any of you a recap on those embossing folders, because when we started, I know a lot more of you have joined since, okay? And then we're going to do some techniques with our micas. So I'm going to go back on over to the embossing folders and show you what we've got, okay? And I'm also going to have a little look and see who's with us, which is wonderful. So we have got, oh dear, let me just refresh this a second. Soph says, hi David, Wendy says good afternoon. Let's have a little look. Oh, Soph says they're absolutely gorgeous, those rice papers. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, they are beautiful. Right, so let's have a look at some of these embossing folders again, shall we? Starting at the top, we have got Shop Happy, which is your fabulous Happy Birthday collection. In here you've got that rope effect, which looks gorgeous embossed. Rope is an amazing one, great for your nautical style cards as well. You have got here as well your rose, wonderful deep embossed detail on this rose. You've got your happy birthday plaque as well inside there, and you also have the clock face. Now, embossing folders are incredibly effective. They give you such strong results. This is Shop Happy. It's $14.99. They're 10.5 centimeters by 14.8 centimeters. So great size for you to work on here. Great for your card fronts. Really simple, just to quickly emboss, cut and go, and you've got the result and the project done straight away for you, which I absolutely love. It's a fabulous finish, but embossing folders just can never fail you. They're a wonderful technique. We've got Shop Butterfly here for you as well, featuring, of course, your butterflies. Starting off with the streamlined stripes you've got here, when there's wonderful maple leaves that are built into the design. This would look really funky embossed onto that gold card as well. We've got your oval decorative scalloped frame as well, just on here. And with that frame, you've then got the butterfly within inside it. So within that frame, the butterfly is in there, and then you've got the swirls. You've then got your floral frame, which looks amazing. Can't wait to have a go with that one, and this as well. Now you can go in and colour them afterwards. You can spritz inside your folders. We're going to do all of that. We've got more to look forward to. That one was Shop Butterfly at $14.99. And then for you here have Shop Poker. This one is also £14.99. Starting off with your polka dots that you've got just there. Craft metal looks fabulous through an embossing folder. If you've got any craft metal that you collected years ago and thought, why on earth did I buy this? Why have I got this? I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Well, through an embossing folder, it looks incredible. You can also use tin foil as well, which looks good. You've then got your florals here with your singular long stems. These look great for the cut flowers. You also have your bulrush design, and you've got the swirling butterflies on this wonderful pattern that's been created there. That is Shop Poker, £14.99. The next set for you here is Shop Heart. This one is also $14.99, so great prices across the show today for you. You've got in here your wonderful sort of concentric circles, you've got your damask, you've got your Victoriana print, and you've got those hearts as well, which just look wonderful for, well, any card really. These would be also work great for, you know, men, women, everyone alike can be used inside here. They're also not age specific as well, which I really like. It means you can utilize them with pretty much every single project that you work with. So if you're at home and you've got a Pro Cut, you can absolutely use these embossing folders in your Pro Cut machine. If you've got other die cutting machines at home, I would just recommend just double checking the depth and the width of those to make sure that they fit inside there, but they should be absolutely fine. If you can play with the shims and of course the different combinations, there shouldn't be a reason why it won't work. We do have some additional items on the show. We do also have a spin the wheel, and the code for that one, Lewis, is orange. So to have the word orange, we've gone with the fruit theme, okay, and I ate an orange just before the show, so it was quite fitting actually. So if you want to get involved in the spin the wheel, all you need to do is type the word orange into the comments and you'll be entered into the prize draw. How exciting is that? I know, right? Okay, so we've got a few more items at the back of the show. I'm going to bring this over to you and show you a close-up detail because this is our biggest selection of mica powders that we have ever done here at Highlight Crafts. This is Shop Powder. You get 52 in here and it's $39.99. Now, 52 colours. You've got interference ones. They always look white, but when you go into your darker colours, instantly the colour evolves. It looks amazing. I'm going to show you this on the surface as we start to work with them. A complete rainbow of colours for you, all in their own 3-gram tubes. That is £39.99. Shop Powder to get hold of those. These are one of our latest releases from Highlight Crafts of the mica powders, and they're fabulous. I love them to bits. Anything of a dark surface, mixing with your resins, mixing with your aquastones to make a glaze, you name it, you can do it. We've also got the Harmony paints on here for you as well. $34.99 with a £5 saving. 10 Harmony paints there from Cadence. These are your bright, so it's Shop Bright for this one. You've got a wonderful selection of black and white and colours in between as well for you to create your tonal finishes. but they all do harmonise together, of course. They're the harmony paints. They're an acrylic paint, which means you can use them on multi-surface. They're not the same as a hybrid, but you can gloss or seal them if you do want to have that permanent finish on exterior or washable surfaces. Right, shall we have a look at some more embossing techniques? How do you feel, Lewis? Do you want to have another look? Okay, so we're going to have a look at a demonstration, and we're going to work with the micas for this as well, which is exciting. So what I'm going to do first is have a bit of a tidy up, because as you can see, I was here for no more than 10 minutes and already made a complete mess. But micas are a wonderful medium to work with, because, oh, look at that. Made a perfect square as I cleaned it. Don't know what else I was expecting. But what I'm going to do is just put some of this to one side, so I can't see it. There we go. And we're going to have a look at working with our micas. Now I'm going to grab some black card, and my black card pad, I believe, is right there. So I'm going to grab some black watercolour card for this. You'll find this on the website. I believe it's in a bundle of 2. It's amazing stuff. It's one of my favourite black cards we've ever bought, because it allows you to work with wet mediums, and because it's designed for it. It's watercolour card. It's not the same as just a standard black cardstock. So I'm going to trim it down in half first. Okay. Now you can dust your micas into your embossing folders, okay? If you were to take a mica, so one of these for example, just in here, and you were to dust this in here, yes you can, but then you're going to have to clean this afterwards, and you're going to have to keep on cleaning it. So you can dust it once you've actually embossed it. So let's grab a different design, because we've used that one now. Let's go with... We've not looked at this one yet. This one's a beautiful design. This one's got like your repeating pattern on there, that little sort of dart with the heart shape, and then you've got that floral. So let's put this into our black card, run it through our machine, and get set up to do some wonderful detailing with our micas. Okay, make sure your embossing mat's nice and straight, because if not it'll want to come out at a curve. So you load it in with your 3mm, your embossing plate with card, and then your embossing rubber mat, and then your 3mm plate on top. Feed it through your machine like this. You'll hear it, and you'll see this rubber mat starting to extend out from the length of the plates, which is normal. That's fine. It's what the machine is designed to cope with and also designed to do. Okay, there we are. So that's starting to push that out from there. Here we go. Right, so so you can see there on the edge, it's ever so slightly broke the card. That's fine, don't worry about that. We're going to trim that off anyway. But if you wanted to make sure that doesn't happen, just always make sure to cut your card the exact size of the folder. I just didn't do that. It doesn't matter a great deal. Now what I'm going to do is just trim that down and give it as a neater edge, shall I say. Let's have a look. There we are. And then trim the rest of that down. Wonderful. And embossing folders as well, if you've not got a die cutting machine, don't worry, there is other things you can do with them. If you open them up and with that profile push it into clay, you're going to create that texture on a clay surface. Why not? You could push it, pour resin cast onto it and peel it off. You could pour pastes into it and peel that off. If you've got your acrylic pouring paint, you could open it up and pour those inside, let it dry and peel it off like a film, and then you'll have that texture inside the acrylic paint. There's lots of things that you can do. Right, so what we're going to do now is I've got my piece of card right here. I've also got with me some of my Cadence Aquastone varnish. You know I absolutely love this stuff. I use it for tons of different things. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a mica blend on the top of here. So I'm going to put it on this card. And then let's use some of our interference ones, shall we? Because I always think these are the best to share with you, because you don't actually know what you're going to get until you see it. I've got a pale and green inside here. So I'm going to take a little bit of that just out of here. Now I'm going to show you what happens if you do and don't use the Aquastone. Okay, 2 different ways. Pick it up with a fan brush like that, and you can start to dust it onto the surface, which does look spectacular, and you get that wonderful glisten with it, but also it's going to just dust off. Okay, so it's not going to last very long. In papercraft that might not be an issue, but if you want to make it so it's going to stay, this is what you need to do. So I'm going to take that same brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the mica at the same time and start to actually brush onto the surface. Now, look at the difference that has made with that mica. It is crazy. You can also use a stencil brush if that's what you have at home. You might not have got a fan brush. So you can go around here and start to go into all of that detail. But a little bit of Aquastone, a little bit of mica, keep just building up that balance on your brush. A little bit of mica, a little bit of aquastone. And remember, I'm using here that full set of 50, it's over 50 colours in here, 52 colours for $39.99. That's an incredible price. And that is shop powder. Look at that. Wow. Oh my word. Again, using that aquastone, which still gives you the shimmery gloss. Let's go in with this though. We're going to mix these colours together. So I've used one of the interference. I'm now going to go in with this gold. Okay. Take the caps off. These do have inside them, look. If I take that, they do have the little sort of salt and pepper top, that's what I call it. And you can go like that to get them out, okay? So you can remove that little film. I'm going to put a little bit more varnish out here onto my mat, there we go. Back in with the same brush, I'm going to pick up the gold now with a bit of the aquastone and start to then blend this onto the surface. Okay, so we're now mixing our colours together. Bit of aquastone, bit of gold mica. Again, onto here. Now I'm going to work into that join where these colours are going to sort of cross over, if you like. There we are. And really start to smoosh all of this in one. There we go. Blend around. Bit more mica. And look at that, how it's starting to evolve. Mix a little bit of the green now in with the gold at the same time. So we can create that little blend in the middle. So we're making like a green gold at the same time. And this is all thanks to that embossing folder, which has given us the actual detail, and then the micas together with that glaze. It's fab. Look at that. And if you just want to skim over and just pick out the detail, look at that. You can also do it that way. So it's just skimming over and catching all of the sort of textured area. But I kind of like the full coverage with this. And because it's embossed, it's also very forgiving. You don't see any of like the brush strokes and that sort of thing. A bit more of this. And pick it up and just keep on working into it. I'm mixing both colours together now here to create a complete random effect. Now what you can do is once you finish this, you can then go in with that sanding block and take the top layer off, which we're going to have a go and try that. Why not? Let's test it. I'm not going to let it fully dry, so that will take a little while, but it's not going to take long either way actually, to be honest. It's drying quite quickly. It's quite warm in here. There we are. So pick up a bit more and dust over. Now we've got that wonderful finish, all mica on the surface of that card. Now what we could do is take that sanding block, and as we just gently start to skim over the surface, it's going to bring the black back through of the actual card itself. So nice and gentle. I'm not pushing down, I'm kind of just actually resting the sanding block on the surface, just like that, and it's going to pick out any pronounced areas. So all of that profile is going to start to come to life. Remember not to, it's really easy as you're holding something to push down in one corner more than the other. Try and keep it level, okay? Keep it as flat as you can, so it's almost sitting flush with the table. Makes it much easier. Then we're going to work into the centre, like that. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Now, if you wanted to add a little bit more impact detail to this, I'm just going to take that black wax, and then I'm just going to stick my finger in the wax. Okay, take a bit off. And then I'm just going to go around that corner just to add a bit of definition there. A bit more wax. Add some to this corner here as well. Pick up a bit more and add some into that corner there, and really start to close in and frame. Look at that one. There we go. We've got it now, loaded up with plenty of wax, and start to really capture the true depth of that inside. It looks beautiful, and remember, we're creating this from micas and cardstock and embossing folders. Those are the tools that you need to create these effects. It's amazing. There we go. Rotate that round, pick up a little bit more wax on just the tippies of my fingers. There we go. Look how wonderful this creation is. And then you matte and layer this with a sentiment in the middle, and that there is your card. Okay, that is your card created with the wonderful raw materials that we've got on the show for you. I'm just going to take that wax off my finger, because if not, there'll be little tiny black spots all around the studio. It'll be like a cat stepped in it. But in fact, it's just me. So that there is showing you how you can use your mica powders with this. I'm going to go through a few more of the items that we do have on the show for you. Or would you like me to have a little look and carry on playing, Lewis? What would you prefer?
Do you do a demo with the texture plates?
Texture paste?
Plates.
Oh, plates. Yes, let's have a look. I'm going to go and grab some. I was like, oh, texture paste. I didn't see that on the show. Let's have a look. So, I'm going to grab one of the plates. Bear with me, everyone. So with your plates, you can mix them with paint or you can mix them with different mediums, okay? So I'm going to grab one of our plates. We'll use our swirl, one that we've got here. And I'm going to get some more of that card. Let's have a little look. So there's a few different ways in which you can work with this. So I'm just going to grab a piece of card for this. And we're going to load it with different mediums. Now you can spritz ink onto the surface if you want to, but I'm going to show you with an ink pad, which I've popped somewhere. Do bear with me. Let's have a little look, see what I've done with that one. It's just here. There we are. So what we can do is we can go straight on. Now you want to double check you're working onto what I would say is the correct side, and that's going to be one that's got the most profiling on it. So if we're going with this ink pad, you'll start to see where the design is. Okay, you can start to see it all come into life. Now these texture plates, they come in packs of 6, they're just $19.99 each. So you've got a great price on these, but look at that. It's literally creating a massive stamp for us. Give it a little spritz, just with some water. That'll just activate that ink. Now this, what it's going to do is create a wonderful distressed background for us. So I'm just going to lay it in one place like this and smooth it right over. Okay, and that's just going to marry up with that cardstock for us. And then if I take this away, you then get this wonderful detailing. Keep smoothing it down. Okay, just like this. Keep smoothing it in. And you can create a lovely textured finish on the background. Now, we're not going to recommend these going through the die cutting machines because you will squish them. Okay, they're not the same plastic that they're actually made from in terms of for embossing folders. They are slightly different. We had these on the other day, and unfortunately I've not got the paste with me at the moment, but if you paste onto these with your capellas, you can then peel it off and you create these fabulous texture films which look unbelievable. Okay, they absolutely look bonkers. They look so good. You can go on with loads of different mediums. I've got here some ink spray. So I'm just going to find one of my ink sprays just here. Go on straight away with your ink spray. Take your paper, go right onto the top like this, okay? And I'm really pressing in with that. You can see where it's coming through. See what I've got. Look at that now. That wonderful texture that you can create. It is stunning. Imagine building this up then with your foliage around here, your flowers, and you're creating this effect with literally spritzers and different mediums. You can see how this is a show where you can create texture, you can build up detail, but those texture plates are at a fabulous price. And the fact that you're getting 6 inside there is amazing, okay? Right, okie dokie. So, with those embossing folders, let me just take some of this off. I'm going to show you how you can spritz ink inside those as well. So I'm going to take, let's have a look, we'll take the heart one. The heart would work nicely for this. Clear the decks a little bit. Now I'm going to take that heart embossing folder and grab some cardstock. Let's use white for this one. It'll show up nicely, I think. Oh, we can also do some vellum too. Let's have a go with some vellum. Oh, and we've got our card shapes. Don't forget those. Let's do a card shape. Right. So we're going to spritz into our embossing folder, but to do so, I need to make sure that my desk isn't going to get covered in ink because we don't want that. So I've got all of these scraps here with me. And I'm using up my scraps at the moment. There we are, it's there. And that's going to then go under here to protect our mat. I'm going to spritz my ink on the, let's have a look, make sure I'm doing this right. Yes. I'm going to spritz it onto here, just like that, so the side that doesn't have the print. A little bit of water on the inside of here, and then I'm going to take that card blank, okay? And with the card blank, I'm going to put it that way. Let's just test it and see what we do. Put that on here like that, run that through, okay? And then we're going to take that into our die cutting machine. So I'm going to put it in this way, grab my plate, there we go, take my rubber embossing mat, and not put aquastone inside the die cutting machine. That would be rather interesting, I reckon. So that's going to go in here. And this is pretty much an experimental show. If you want to see something tested, or you want to see it work, or you want me to demo it in a different way, let me know, give me a shout out, and I'll do it. There we go. Feed this through. And we see what we're going to get. It's embossing that card shape for us. Those envelopes and cards are on the show as well, and I'm using one of the scalloped ones right now. So think about it, all those different envelopes and cards that you've got, you could be using with your embossing folders. There we go, pop that to one side, just make it look a little bit more presentable for you all at home. So you're not thinking you just joined me at a moment of terror. There we go. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Ooh, okay. Well, the other side is going to be like this then, isn't it? Look at that. So, you could use this either way, actually. Look at how the embossed detail has actually fetched out the ink there, but on this side, it's really gone for it. But it's allowed it to look like it's proper pulled up inside it. That is really interesting. I love that finish effect. Right, okay. Think about using lots of different colours, ways you could really amplify that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, Lewis, have you got a bit of kitchen towel I could borrow, please? Oh, that's okay. Lewis is going to grab me some kitchen towel. We're going to spritz some kitchen towel, but whilst he grabs that, I'm going to show you the embossing on our vellums. Now let's use this one here and see what results that we can achieve with this. I've got a vellum here that I've printed a design onto. Oh, thank you very much. There is Lewis, our magic hands. There we go. And we're just going to take that vellum into here, use our embossing mat again and see what results that we get. It's really interesting just to take all those cards. If you've got stashes of card in your craft room and you think, oh, there's got to be a use for this somewhere, this is a great way to try it. Now I can hear the vellum, and if it's cracked it, that's fine, we know. But you can maybe use the heavier weight one instead, because this is the lightweight one. Let's have a look, see what we have got inside here. Oh, okay. Look at that. It's created like white work for us. Use your vellums. Oh my word. Look at that. That's spectacular. That looks absolutely incredible. And look, it's not actually gone through or tore it. It is obviously the perfect pressure and the perfect... That was my tummy. The perfect pressure and the perfect detail for that embossing folder. That looks wonderful. I love that finish. I'm really, really happy with that. You again, of course, could go in with those ink pads, as we did earlier, and fetch out the detail. So you could get all of that. Take that embossing mat off a second. And look at that now. We've got a printed design, and we're going over the top of it with that vellum. That is something a little bit different. That is nice. Okay. Trim that out. For our card. This would look really nice in a box frame or lit from behind, because what you're going to get is you're going to get all of the detail of the embossing folder, but also the print of which it's also on, which looks wonderful. So you can see, there you go, there's my green light. It would look nice if it was white, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Really, really nice. Okay, so we're going to use some kitchen towel. So what I'm going to do with this, take the embossing folder again, get some kitchen towel. You could use blue roll, whatever towel you've got at home. Anything will do. Probably a little bit of tissue would work fine. And then what I'm going to do is spritz it with water. Okay, and then I'm going to pool on some ink. Okay, I'm going to sit the ink on it in different places, just like this. Okay, I've also got a yellow, I believe, with me too. So I'm just dipping this onto here. Now you don't want to oversaturate the tissue because we are going to feed this through our machine, so you just want to be cautious with that. You don't want it to be too wet. It just needs to be damp. It doesn't want to be, if you pick it up and it's dripping, it's too wet. Right, okay, so a little bit of yellow on here too. And this might look quite dull at the moment because I am on a blue paper towel, which is of course going to take a bit of the saturation of that out. There we are. And these will probably just merge and bleed on their own, do their own thing inside that plate. There we go. So this here for us is good to go. It's not dripping. It doesn't want to be wet. It just wants to be mildly damp, okay? Can't stress that enough. You don't want to be feeding something through your machine that's dripping with water ever, because it's an electronic product. But this is only ever so slightly, as I said, mildly damp. I'm going to take some cardstock because we want to feed that through here as well. Let's grab a sheet. So I'm going to pop my cutting instrument, my trimmer just down there, and let's grab a sheet of card. So we're going to feed this through. And I'm going to sit the wet paper towel with that colour on. In fact, I'm just going to tear a bit off the top there because I've got a bit of space that's going to take up room in the hinge. And we're going to sit that just here. Okay, and we're going to see what results we get. And this is the beauty of this. It's exciting to see. So what the theory is with this one is as that presses it through, it's going to emboss it, but push the ink into the card. So let's give it a go. You could use watercolours if you don't have the ink sprays. Oh, the rubber mat. Nice one, Sophie. Got Sophie here. There we are. Just make sure that's in there nicely. And then we're going to feed that through here. Okay. Oh, Louis says, can we do the clock emboss onto gold silver card? Let's do it. Why not? Beverly says that. Lovely. Sorry, Louis, I thought you just really wanted to see it. Yes, let's do that one, Beverly. Also, I have got some here on silver I forgot to share with you that I did this morning. Loved that. How nice was that result? Okay. So yes, Beverly, we will do that with the clock design. So let's take this out and see what we've got, okay? Gonna open her. Ooh, okay. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, all right. They're not quite what I expected, but I love it. That is nice. Okay, I really like that. So it's dampened the card ever so slightly, but you've got that wonderful emboss with the colour that's been pushed through. That looks really nice. Now, what you could do is then ink the areas you want it to be actually coloured. So if you're going to use the flowers, that would look great for that one. But another little tip, we've done about 6 or 7, well, probably about 7 or 8 actually so far. But let's do, of course, the clock in some metallic card. Okay, the clock is fabulous. Is this the one we're referring to? I believe it's that one, right? Okay, lovely stuff. Let's grab, oh, I have got some silver here, Beverly, so I'll do silver for you, okay? So we're going to emboss this one through. So remember, you always, as you feed it through your machine, want your black image on the folder to be facing up, and that's also the facing up of your speciality card, in this case, Silver Miri, okay? Some people do spritz their card with a mild spritz of water like that before they feed it through. And there's a reason for that. It softens the card slightly. It isn't essential though. I would only ever advise doing that if you fed it through and found that it's not moulded very well. So far, so good. I've not had any that haven't, but I just wanted to show you that you can do that if you wish to get a slightly more pronounced result with a trickier card. So we've popped our rubber mat through. And we're going to feed this one here through our machine. Remember, you're getting 4 embossing folders for $14.99. That's a crazy price. Okay, absolutely bonkers deal for you today on those ones. But again, remember to get them in your basket and get them checked out. So, here we go. Take it out of our machine. It will look like a face then when it was all screwed up. That was interesting. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, wow. That's my favourite now. That looks immaculate. Now, because this is mirror card, you could dip alcohol inks onto the top of it and let it dry because it would pool up in all of the areas. So you could almost do like a stained glass effect. That would look so good. So there you can see a stunning effect using that mirror card there with your embossing folder. You can, of course, sand it back if you wanted to. You could rub some wax into it as well. Just again, do that technique where I'll just rub this in like that to create that tarnished sheet metal all the way around the edge, and then we can wipe it back afterwards. Look at this. I love doing this technique. It's so fun. It's so easy. There we go. So then we just take a little bit of tissue. In fact, I'll use this piece over here. No need to waste any. And then just roll it up a little bit and start to just wipe it back gently. And that'll get rid of any of the fingerprint marks, so it looks like it's intentional. And around the bottom as well. There we are. Love this effect. And then let's trim that out of there. So we're going to take this out and then I'm going to spritz it with water and go over again with that tissue. You could do it actually with the whole design. Why not? Let's do it. Let's go for it. So I'm going to spritz it with a bit of water and then I'm going to go over the top of there with another piece of towel. Now we've got that spritz on it, it's just going to allow us to clean it back but keep some of that tarnished effect in the mirror. So you can see the difference of where we have and haven't placed that wax. Look at that. Isn't that glorious? That clock face looks fabulous in that mirror card. We of course have been running a competition throughout the show for you, which you've been typing the word orange into the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this hour. I've loved it ever so much. Lewis, shall we draw a winner?
Yep.
Okay, fabulous. So let's see what you can win. Well, anything from the wheel, I guess. Let's have a look. And the winner is?
Camel G to throw well.
Camel, congratulations. Right, I'm going to spin the wheel and see what you've won. Give it a good spin, seeing as it is the last afternoon show of the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for keeping me company for the last show here today. It's been absolutely wonderful. Beverly, this is beautiful. Thank you. You're more than welcome. Let's have a look. So, is that number 3? Number 3, 250 points. Congratulations. You'll receive a message from us with all the instructions of what to do and how to get those points. But congratulations to you. And thank you everyone for joining us for today's shows. I've loved every second of it. We're going to be back this evening though for you at 6 p.m. with some brand new stuff. I will see you there. Lots of love. Bye.